All right, you guys, we are back with the heart chakra. Just for those, if you're catching this now, this is going to be a little mini series of a deeper look into each chakra. Right now, 11 seconds. Right now, we're on the fourth chakra, the heart. So you have 3 more to catch up before this. This is all touching back on one of my first video lessons from Wounds into Light as taking a deeper look into the chakras and balancing them in their garden. You don't have to go back and watch those. You can if you want to. There's part 1 and part 2. They're like 6 minutes and 8 minutes, I think. And then you don't have to go back though, because I'm going to kind of touch on all of that as we're doing this. Each one I'm going through explaining more so what it is, how the blocking and ascension works, what happens if it's overreactive, and then personal advice from self-reflection that I've done before to help you guys, so it's not just oh, I love this and I love that about myself and sure I'm going to feel better, but it's really taking a deeper look and reflecting from all angles so you're able to really take a good charge of your progress and move forward. And then with each chakra I'm giving best piece of advice from someone who's been through it. So let's get started. This is my favorite one. This is the heart chakra. This is literally our lampstand, the whole entire thing. You know, it's our soul. If we don't have this, we ain't got nothing. It's located in our chest, which is also from the back. It's the center of the spine. It reflects and is known as the color green. It's big on our empathy, our compassion, our forgiveness for ourselves, to others, all of this, self-love, grieving. This is a huge area. Grieving. And I actually feel like I'm supposed to do a video on this now that I'm resonating inside. Grief is huge. Grieving is actually just love with nowhere to go. So once I learned that, and I really focused on, well, where am I going to put it? I can't keep it here. It obviously can't go to the person or whatever to 11 what I'm grieving, you know. In my past, it's been people. I can choose to grieve them. I can choose whether they're dead or alive, whether they're alive but dead, if you know what I mean. It's really just love that you have for that person and nowhere to put it off, nowhere to project it, so it stays inside, causing us to feel so low, so heavy, because that's how powerful love is. And when it has nowhere to go, it just drains us down, and that sadness comes along because that's what we resonate with, that's what we feel, and that's exactly what it feels like, even though it's just all this extra love. And isn't all this extra love in general, wouldn't that be positive? So we make it sad because we have nowhere to put it. We are continuing to hold space for that love that we have nowhere to put. That's why we grieve. It turns into a negative because we just have so much of it when really it's a positive. So what I started doing was I started TLCing myself more with that love, 311, that I would have given to that person that I was grieving. I just gave that love to myself. I didn't have to take it out. I just changed the avenue. I just changed the polarity of the energy. And sure, I had mental control over it because I mastered my emotions. But how many times in my whole life before have I grieved and it never went anywhere? We are choosing to hold ourselves in that behavior, in those vicious cycles of feelings, whether it's positive or negative. If we choose to hold ourselves in the positive, what's wrong with that? But when we choose to hold ourselves in the negative, what happens if you're in the negative for too long, sweetheart? It just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs, and then eventually you're stuck. Okay. Grieving, loving unconditionally as long as you're in the upright. And it's our most powerful energy. Love conquers all. It even trumps hate and evil. And, you know, Book of Revelation says love's going to win anyway, right? So why wouldn't love win? It's also our center. It's our biggest light. That's why we get the little warm and fuzzies. This is also where 3D, but then the inner comes in. You have the inner and the outer and the inner, the 3D and the 5D. So 3D now, from root, sacral, solar plexus, heart. Now the inside of the heart is what we're reflecting on, because that's your powerhouse. You've got inner and outer strength, inner and outer emotions. Where do you think it come from? Our center. So now this is all this 3D as a new spectrum starts from the inside. That band we talked about at the very beginning, right? That band of 5, it's now 5D. It's now 5-dimensional. You're getting into the spirituality of it. You're getting into the different dimensions for the cosmic galaxies, but you're still 3D. So do you see now how there's two sides to you? Inner and outer strength, inner and outer emotions, inner and outer physical elemental matter, you know, skin, water, and air. That's pretty much all we are. And yeah, so anyway, when you're blocked, when your heart's blocked, I mean, sure, we're brokenhearted, or we've been hurt so much that now we're just black-hearted, right? So we're unforgiving. We're numb to the emotion because it's been cut off. Our heart chakra will cut itself off to where we can't feel it anymore. When we cannot move on, when we choose to stay where we're at, that's another blockage. 555. Got to change where we're at, right? Stress, depression, anxiety. There comes that low serotonin again, you guys, like I told you. Hate and evil. That's all you're going to feel. And sure, they can feel that love, and sure, they can want that love all they want, but the only one standing in their way is them. Anatomically, that energetic, spiritual, energetic, what am I trying to say here? The spiritual energy will anatomically block you. Thank you, Yova. You know, if you have high or low blood pressure, that's a huge one. How much heart problems do we have if there's something wrong with our heart? I mean, whether it's smoking, health-related, food-related, you know, emotional-related, stress, anxiety, depression, broken heart, grieving, mad, anger, loss, selfishness, wish unfulfilled. You know, you're never gonna have your person because you can't get your own ego out of the way. Poor circulation. You know, this is where heart and lung issues just completely come into play because they're so connected. Respiratory issues as well. It's all in our center. It's all in our chest. When we're awakening, when we're ascending, we have that unconditional love come back into play, and it's like a whole cloud around you, this bubble, and it's just like, oh, I love love, and I just love everything about it. You're able to receive love at that point. You know, here comes your 5 love languages back into play. If you still haven't done it, 5lovelanguages.com. It is so helpful to understand how you receive love. Because like I said before, you cannot receive it unless that's how you receive it. Someone can be pouring all of this love into you, but if you cannot receive it, then you're not getting it. You're not absorbing it. It's reflecting back to that person. And now that person's like, what the heck? I'm loving you like this and like this and like this. Isn't it good enough? Well, no, because I receive love like this and this and this. You can, for my own experience, nothing wrong with it if this is how you receive love. I just do not receive love that way in my experience. If someone continues to buy me gifts, I don't like it. I do not receive love that way. My mother bought me gifts with me, and so that's what it makes me think. I don't want your materialistic bullshit. I want you to sit there and tell me that you love me enough to fix your wrongs, to make it right, and to move forward with me. And that's what I want. The words of affirmations is my number one. But if your number one is receiving gifts, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how you receive love. There's nothing wrong with that because that is how you were made. That's how you were created in your center, because that's what you lacked therefore as a kid. And when your inner child wounds come into play, like they are right now with every chakra, your love languages is going to reflect what you got as a kid and what you didn't get as a kid. So if you got tons of gifts out of kids, you're not going to want them as an adult, right? But if you never got them as a kid, you're always going to want them as an adult. Maybe, I don't know. I'm flipping the energies, right, you guys? I'm reading it from any direction that I could. I'm just not knocking you if that's who you are. I respect that, and I'd fucking buy you a gift if I could. I just accept love through words of affirmations. But if someone is giving me love that they think, oh, well, I receive love this way, so that's how I'm going to love her, and that's how I'm going to love him. Get to know your person too. So you guys, 5lovelanguages.com. It is so important. You can do the test by yourself or you can do the test with your person. It doesn't matter. I do both because why not? Every year I do it. It's always different. We're always changing. So why not? Okay. The balance comes back into play. You're able to be more relaxed, to calm yourself, to not have that anxiety and those panic attacks. You have spiritual victory, which is huge. Right now I'm working on a lesson plan about when it's like to not have any closure, to not have any victory, in any situation that you're given that you need to heal and move on from, you're never going to have that victory, right? But you'll get spiritual victory no matter what, because you're staying true to yourself. You have boosted energy because it's just recreating. It's just constantly flowing and flowing and flowing. There's nowhere for it to go. So as within, so without, right? I said boosted energy levels, so I didn't read levels, so whatever. Self-love, TLC, this is so huge. This is where that practice comes in, where even if it's just 15 minutes a day, or hey, today I'm going to make this soup for lunch and tomorrow I'm going to make a taco instead. Whatever makes you happy, it doesn't matter. Just continue doing it. Make that inner child within you so happy, because then that inner comes out. It helps you be the loving example that you want to be towards others, that, you know, treat others the way that you want to be treated. It also helps you be that loving example to show God's love. Who doesn't want to do that? When you have an overactive heart chakra, you're an empath to the max. Like, you just feel everything, and everything hurts, and everything is so heavy because you're just not getting rid of it. You're holding space for it, but then you're your own problem again, because that's all you're doing. 1122. That's all you're doing, is you're holding space for it. You're not letting it go. You're not releasing it. So therefore, that space is getting darker, heavier, starting to weigh more because the polarity is off, right? So think of being an empath now, and then think of having an overreactive empath trait. It's insane what you can feel. And then you're also feeling all of that towards yourself, towards the person that's made you feel that way. Remember, in my apathy versus empathy video, we took on all of our empathy issues plus the narcs issues, right? So don't forget that that's what an empath does. An empath can carry so much strife that they forget how much more positive that they can carry than a narc could. So please don't forget that about yourself. If you are the empath that's trying to master your emotions, do never forget. Never, ever, ever forget what you are capable of. And if you do, I'm already pissed off at you, because you are limiting yourself, and knock it off. I hate it. You know, the narc, the bully comes back into play. Maybe I little bullied you there, and I'm sorry, but I really love you, and I don't want you to go through this stuff. It's really hard to heal. It's very painful. And if I can prevent you, if I can let you know, like, hey, this is extremely painful, do not do this. I hope that somewhere in the meantime of your blockage and your anatomical spiritual blockage, before, as you're ascending, you tell yourself, oh shit, she said being an empath to the max really fucking sucks, and I'm only here. It's time to change around. It's time to turn the obstacles, okay? It's time to eject yourself into the positive and no longer the negative, because all you're going to do is continue feeling shitty. And I don't want that for you either, and you know that. Your energy is overloaded, those overactive nerves again, you know, fibro, whichever else, your anxiety, panic disorder, your high-low blood pressure. Your high blood pressure is going to take into effect, right, as soon as you have an anxiety attack. So there's two things against you already, on top of the third thing, that's just the feeling. Whatever you're holding the feeling for, right? Whatever you're loving, even though I don't fucking love you back. Overactive heart chakra will also lead to jealousy, codependency, that trauma bond, huge trauma bond, because you think that that's love, and when really it's not. No boundaries. There's no boundaries in place, whatever. So you continue to bring that evil in. You continue to play the game with the unclean spirit. You continue to love yourself in the negative way. And you continue to, you know, dishonor your faith. And that's just the most upsetting thing, I think. The person that has an overactive heart chakra too also loves the abuse, and they settle for it. And they might not know that. If you told an empath that you love the abuse and you're settling for it, what's it gonna do? It's gonna make them feel really shitty inside, but because they're resonating with the truth. It might make them cry. They'll say, I know. If you know them, why aren't you fucking doing it? Okay? If you know that you love the abuse, you love love more. So what's really going to win here? You know that love is. So how do you want your spiritual consequence to come into play for you? Do you want it to bite you sour? Or do you want it to bite you sweet? Because when we love that abuse, we're also loving that we are harming ourselves, right? Because when we harm ourselves, we're doing it in so many different avenues. We're not just, eating wrong or cutting ourselves. It's allowing that bad energy to come in and stay. Okay, that's self-harm too, right? What we talked about. So going up to the self-reflection and the things that I've done and said and want to help you with is love the divine, love God. He's there for you. He loves you no matter what. Love is a practice, love is light, love my neighbor and my enemy, even when they come from my own household, like the Bible says. Love yourself, even the parts that you don't like, even the parts that you think no one could love, you need to love them. Love your protection. Love you. Seriously, you are divinely protected. And if you don't open your eyes and see the signs and the things, if you are not asking that protection from your angels and your ancestors and God himself, then click off my channel, because I don't even want you here, because all you're going to do is block everybody else's energy. Okay? Love is respect. Respect is not just fucking given. It's definitely earned. And if you can't respect yourself, then you're just letting Satan win, and I feel sorry for you. And I'm so tired of explaining the love. It's like, you can love yourself, but it's easier said than done. Well, of course I love myself. No, do you really love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to go through all of this? Do you love yourself to heal so you heal the planet, so you can help spread love? Do you love yourself enough to honor your highest self, therefore honoring the divine? Do you love yourself enough to honor the divine? That should always be a yes. Do you love the divine? That should always be a yes. If not, click off my channel. Yehovah. He don't play around with love and hate, y'all. He hates wickedness. He hates evil. He wants you to respond with love, even if it's bold and righteous. Ironically, I put that down. You guys, if you're new here, I feel energy. It'll come out of me like none other. I apologize for it, because coming from an abusive household, I understand what sensory overload is like. I don't want to be yelled at, and I don't want to feel like this. But I don't mean to do that. I don't intend to do that. I talk. I let Yehovah Elohim work through me as he has created me. Since April, since Easter, I've been doing his work. And a lot of my videos, I go on rants energetically. I'm bold. I'm righteous. I say things without a filter. I do not care how I come across, because I cannot control it. I have given Yehovah Elohim permission to use me as he has so wanted to use me in this life. And sometimes he just flows out of me. He really does. He just flows out of me. I can feel that anger. I can feel that love that he has for the people, for God's children, for the people that mess with his children. I can feel that love, even though it just has anger written all over it, because they're ignorant, because they don't want to believe in him or accept him. And therefore, it just brings all this extra energy through me or any of our chosen ones. If you talk to someone else who's chosen, if you watch another chosen person's video to do work on earth, I'm not the only person that has energy flowing through them to the point where it needs to just roar out like that. So if you start to follow along, if you've been following along, you know this. And for whatever you see in the future, okay, I am mostly just myself, but I'm also Yehovah. And when you start to stick along around enough, you'll be able to tell when I'm me and when I'm Yehovah. When Yehovah's talking through me and using that energy, 1911. And I feel it. I feel it rumble up through my stomach. I can feel it through chills. I get really itchy. My nose will itch. It's like my crown up here is really itchy or just a tingly. I can just kind of feel it like fingernails, kind of sometimes, just kind of like this. It just comes down my spine. It just, sometimes they'll go like this. It's just really, really weird. I don't know how to explain it any more than that. I like to think that I'm a great communicator, and I like to think outside the box to understand it and to explain it more than one way, because I clearly know and understand that not everybody learns the same. Some people, you can just say it right out to them. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But others, you have to visually show it. And that's why I go as far as this. But I can't visually show you my energy levels. I can't visually show you unless it's coming out of my mouth and it's roaring. And it has yet to get extreme. I'm sure it will at one point. I try to not hold space for that energy and move on because I'm here for you and I want to be loving. But I also want to show you what it's like when you decide to follow the call for spiritual ego death, when you follow God's call and he allows you to work for him. You don't argue with him. Okay, God, this is what you want to use me for. That's fine. Go ahead. Go right ahead. You died for me, Jehovah. I will live for you. So please do not take my energy as anything less than what it is, okay? It is just Jehovah speaking through me for you, and it's all out of love, and that's how you should be responding, okay? Respond, where did it go? Respond with love, even if bold and righteous, okay? It may come off mean, it may come off as an attack to the narcs because they can't face judgment, but all it is just saying loud and proud and roaring, just as Jehovah would. I'm bold and I'm passionate because I know what I want. I'm bold and I'm passionate because I feel Jehovah's energy. I feel his love through me, and I worked my ass off to get here. Love your inner peace and honor it. Always honor it. Honor that light within you. And how many times do I tell you, I see your light and I'm honoring it. I see the divine's light in you and I'm honoring it. So God forbid, I just love you a little too much and make you feel wrong, but you yourself have held you there. As soon as you heal, you could feel all of this too, sweetheart. You know, have that attitude of gratitude for everything that God has given you. Even if, you know, all of my balances have come into play except financially. Financially, I'm so fucked. I'm doing these videos because I am so stuck in my house. I have nothing else to do, and this is what God's using me for. But everything else has come into play, and I know that financially it will too. 2211. Financially it will too. It'll balance out. God isn't ready for it for me yet. But look at how much work I've been doing and how much attitude of gratitude I have for what I do have. You know, I barely have any money. I barely have any money at all. But at least I have food, I have a house, I have clothes for my baby, I have God's love, and I'm waking up every single morning. I am rich as hell. Are you? More love, input, output, doesn't matter. As within, so without, as above, so below. More love, anything, is more spiritual successes. You do more hate, evil, the more that you block God in his call, the more spiritual consequences that you're gonna have. But the more that you just go along with it, the more love that you put in to put out, the more that you love God's love, and the more that you chase him in his love, the more spiritual successes that you will have. Love your progress, even if it's minimal. Even if it's minimal, because God sees the direction that you're going in. And if it's towards him, he will help you along the way and he will protect you. Love your progress, even if it's minimal, because some progress is better than none. Love is our center. It's our fourth chakra. So what I did was I kind of just took this and I put it over this way. I am, I feel, I do, I love, I speak, I see, and I know. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But from the math and science that I've showed you guys and how things actually work energetically wise, even though we can't see it, and God has just let me know this is what happens, and God has made me his own student to show you guys, to be his teacher. If we cut that heart in half and then in half again, right? If we're reflecting on all those 4 sides from the 5 and 1, this is 5 and 1 right here. 1, the front left side, 2, the back left side, 3, the back right side, and 4, the front right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's all 1. 5 and 1 right there, you guys, right? Remember Luke 12:49, not peace but division. 5 and 1. And now we have 3 on each side. 3 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side out of a 5 and 1. Stay tuned, you guys. Math and science is coming back, part 5. Best piece of advice is love yourself first. Love yourself first, baby, please. if you can do anything for me besides healing and getting closer to God, love yourself first, because you are yours before you are anyone else's. And look at everything else that you've allowed someone else to make you feel. And for what? For what? Was it worth it? Fuck yeah, it was, because look at how much you're doing now. Look at your healing. Look at how much love that you have grown. Look at what you've learned from, because all of your experience. If you can't look at your shit at the end of the day and own up to it, there's no maturity there. You're never going to grow. All you're doing is limiting yourself. And the more that you spiritually awaken, the more your ascension, when you spiritual ego death, the more gifts that you are given. And look at my whole life. My whole life has changed. I've been giving gifts from Einstein and Klatz and Ryman, as we've already talked about. And now I'm showing the spiritual world, which this is part of it, you know? So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. I don't care what people have to say. I'm not playing the game anymore. I'm here for those who want to listen and those rebellious houses that want to heal for God. I'm also here for the rebellious houses that don't accept God. And I hope that one day that they do. But right now, I'm focused on you. And that's what you should be too. Because you are yours at the end of the day. You are all that you have left. The only one you can trust and count on is yourself. And sure, people say that. And you know that you have ones that you can count on at the end of the day. But what happens when the rapture comes? He ain't going to be looking for anyone but you, because he chose you. He looked down and said, I want that person. Oh, you guys, I got goosebumps. He looked down and chose you for this master plan, this divination that you have inside of yourself that you are not even accepting and disrespecting. You are disrespecting Jehovah Elohim as you don't answer the call. When the rapture comes, where are you going to go? I don't want that for you. So here I am helping you now. No matter how stressed out I am in my life, no matter all the financial problems that I have, I don't care, because I still have so much unconditional love for God's love and God himself. And therefore, I see the divine in you and I see your light. So I'm here for you. I love you. That was the end of the heart chakra. We're wrapping that one up. Stay tuned for the next one of I Speak. And I hope you guys are really enjoying these, because I am too. And I was going to say one last thing, but I forgot it. Because I kind of, something else that happens with the energy flow, when you get these intuitive psychic gifts, is I used to lose track of what I was thinking about all the time because of fibro, right? Fibromyalgia causes brain fog. I can't hold space for shit. Can't remember shit. But then I get to remembering, and then it just floats right out of my head, and I can't even pick it back up. It's like, okay, you're done holding space for that, and now God wants to put something else in my head. And all I'm getting right now, all I'm channeling right now, downloading, is he wants me to tell you to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Because once you can do it, once you see that you can do one of those things, he's saying, you will be able to eject yourself into that positivity and chase it. He wants you to chase yourself. Believe in yourself, chase the impossible. Gosh, it's just so beautiful how he works through me and everything he says. And you guys, if you could see the goosebumps on my leg right now, I'm not going to show you because they're hairy as hell. But oh my gosh, my stomach is just going off. It's so different than a stomach ache, which I get all the time. It's kind of just, it's like vibrating. It's like those chills on my legs have now vibrated through my root and sacrum. And you just get this confidence, right? So believe in yourself. Think of a time maybe where you never thought that you'd be able to do something. You had to believe in yourself, and believe in yourself, and then you did it. And still to this day, you remember that moment and how proud you were and how happy you felt that you were able to, be successful at that, even though it was really hard. That's kind of the same thing that you're going to have to approach with spiritual ego death. Just believe in yourself. count on your spirit to help you, because that's why he is there. That's why they are there. You know, get to studying, learn your ancestors, learn your angels. You know, there's a certain archangel for everything that you can pray for, and the strongest one is Archangel Michael, and he has all the protection that you could need on top of Jehovah's protection. So use them. They're there. They will listen for you. They will help you. They will answer your call. You just have to reciprocate back. If you see angel numbers, look out, because that is their way of saying, hey, I see you. I see your light, and I'm honoring it. Okay, see you soon so we can talk about that light, okay?